Porsche is trying to do with its Taycan and Panamera what Tesla did with Model Y and Model 3 years ago. Here's something that would have sounded almost absurd just a few years ago. Welcome back, everyone. This is Armin Harayan from TorqueNews.com. Thank you for being here. So Porsche, the German brand that built its reputation on obsessive engineering and doing things the right way, even when it was expensive, it's now reportedly considering merging two of its most important cars just to control costs. And the surprising part of this story is the company that may have already solved the exact problem Porsche is facing. That company, of course, is Tesla. Today we're going to break down why Porsche may combine Panamera and Taycan into a single lineup, what's happening behind the scenes in the luxury electric vehicle market, and why Tesla quietly mastered this strategy years ago with the Model 3 and Model Y. And I'm going to tell you what Tesla did. But in the meantime, if all this sounded interesting, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Let me know your thoughts about this. Comments help very much. And also give us thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. So, and if you're shopping for a luxury electric vehicle or even just following the future of performance cars, this story actually matters more than it might seem. Because this isn't just about two Porsche models. It's about the future economics of the entire automotive industry, really. So, Porsche's two sedan problem. Right now, Porsche operates something that looks impressive on paper, but has become increasingly difficult to justify financially. Two separate four doors performance sedan. On one side, you have the Panamera, Porsche's gasoline and plug-in hybrid grand touring sedan that has been around since 2009, and yet on the other side sits the Porsche Taycan. Porsche Taycan, of course, is Porsche's fully electric flagship that debuted in 2019, 10 years after Panamera debuted. Both of these vehicles are engineering masterpieces in their own ways, but from a business perspective, they represent two completely separate programs. Here are the two programs, friends. Two engineering teams, two programs, two development budgets, two manufacturing strategies. This is expensive to maintain. For a while, that approach worked at Porsche. In fact, when the Taycan launched, the reception was extraordinary, and I and my team at TorqueNews.com have covered lots of stories on that. Please visit us at TorqueNews.com and see what we're doing, basically. It may sound very interesting to you. Back in 2021, Taycan sales nearly matched the legendary 911 in some quarters, 911 in some quarters, for an electric car, especially from a traditional sports car company. That was a stunning achievement. It proved that Porsche could build a serious high-performance electric vehicle. But the story has changed dramatically in the past 2 years. The Taycan's sudden sales collapse. Fast forward to today, and the numbers coming out of Porsche are sobering. According to global sales data reported by several industry publications, Taycan deliveries fell about 22%, dropping to roughly 16,339 Taycan units worldwide in the most recent reporting year. Just 2 years earlier, the Taycan was selling more than 40,000 units annually. That's not just a mild slowdown, right? That's a sharp correction in the market. And therefore, Porsche has to do something. Porsche has to change a strategy. Porsche's overall global sales also slipped around 10%, and the company has acknowledged rising development costs tied to EV strategy adjustments. Well, everything has become expensive in the recent years. Every price has gone up, and especially now what we see is sadly happening in Middle East. A lot of people suffering, and gas prices are going up even, and energy prices as well. So one of the biggest pressure points is China. Chinese electric vehicle buyers are rapidly shifting toward domestic brands that offer advanced technology and competitive performance at dramatically lower prices. One day, Porsche, Tesla, and others have to do the same. Some Chinese electric vehicle sedans now deliver Porsche-like acceleration and high-end digital features at a fraction of the price of a Taycan. For Porsche, which built its brand on premium engineering and exclusivity, this kind of pricing pressure is a real challenge, right? I mean, who wouldn't it cause a challenge? And when you combine that with rising battery costs, software development spending, and slower electric vehicle demand growth in some markets, the financial math becomes uncomfortable. Although I think, at least in these coming weeks or months, the electric vehicle sales probably will go up because of rising gas prices. So Porsche's leadership is exploring a bold move. The plan combined the Panamera and Taycan. This is reported by British automotive magazine Autocar. According to Autocar reports from, like I said, from Autocar, Porsche's new leadership is studying the idea of merging Panamera and Taycan into a single unified model family. Instead of two cars, there would be one core platform. But buyers could choose between multiple powertrains: gasoline, plug-in hybrid, or fully electric. And I think a lot of people these days may go for at least plug-in hybrid or fully electric because of rising gas prices. In other words, one architecture serving three different types of customers: gasoline, plug-in hybrid, electric. It sounds radical for Porsche, is it? But the funny thing is, Tesla essentially built its entire success around this kind of thinking. Tesla solved this problem years ago. Tesla anticipated that this problem may come, and like I said, solved it years ago. So to understand why this matters, you have to go back to Tesla's strategy around 2017 through 2019. I'm talking about go back like 9 years. During that time, around between 2017 and 2020, Tesla was developing two vehicles that would become the backbone of the company: the Model 3 sedan and the Model Y crossover. Instead of designing two completely different cars, Tesla engineered them to share an enormous amount of hardware. I think this was smart, this was wise. Industry estimates suggested roughly 70 to 75% of components are shared between these two models. Model Y is just a bigger version of Model 3. Battery architecture is shared. Drivetrain components are shared. Manufacturing systems are shared. Software platform is shared. Even production lines inside Tesla's gigafactories could shift between the two models. This strategy produced something incredibly powerful, friends. It's scale efficiency. Because the cars shared so much engineering, Tesla could produce them faster, reduce development costs, and adapt production more easily during supply disruptions. It also allowed Tesla to aggressively cut prices when needed without destroying profitability. Do you remember at the end of each quarter years ago, Tesla would cut prices, Elon Musk would come on and push price cuts, and end of the tri-months to push the sales. So Tesla did this without destroying profitability. That's one reason that Tesla Model Y has gone on become one of the best-selling vehicles in the world, not just a best-selling electric vehicle. That used to be Toyota Corolla. And this wasn't luck. I don't believe in luck. There is no luck. It was a philosophy. Don't build multiple vehicles if one architecture can serve multiple roles. Why Porsche is feeling the pressure? Now compare that with Porsche's approach. The Taycan sits on an electric vehicle platform called J1, while the Panamera uses a completely different architecture. That means every upgrade, batteries, electronics, software, chassis improvements must be engineering twice. That's expensive, that's costly. And that becomes extremely expensive in the electric vehicle era. Battery technology alone can cost billions in research and development. Software platforms now require constant updates. How many times you have heard of Tesla over-the-air updates? Now, other companies have adopted that technology, that strategy, and a lot of electric vehicles now, they all do software update over the air. And supply chains for electric vehicle components remain volatile. When you're developing two vehicles that often appear to appeal to the same customer, the duplication becomes hard to justify. Think about it. A buyer considering a Taycan Turbo might also look at Panamera Turbo S electric hybrid, right? E-hybrid. Those buyers overlap. Running two massive development programs for the same audience isn't efficient anymore. And Porsche apparently is thinking about this. Porsche's top leadership is considering this idea. This is why Autocar reports that Porsche is now thinking, hey, why can't we just make them and combine all of these things? What combined Porsche sedan could look like? If Porsche moves forward with this idea, the combined lineup might look something like this. One core platform, but multiple powertrain choices. A V8 gasoline version for traditional performance buyers, a plug-in hybrid model for electric vehicle or gas car buyers who want electric range without losing long distance flexibility. This is important. Let me repeat that again. A plug-in hybrid model for customers who want electric range without losing long distance flexibility, and the fully electric version for electric vehicle enthusiasts. This kind of structure, friends, already exists elsewhere in Porsche's lineup. For example, the upcoming electric Cayenne will coexist with gasoline versions under the same nameplate. So the concept isn't entirely new. It was done already by Tesla, and Porsche was already doing that concept with Cayenne, like I said, and merging two flagship sedans would be a significant shift in Porsche's philosophy. Why this matters for car buyers? If you are considering a luxury electric vehicle or high performance sedan, the platform strategy behind the car actually matters more than most buyers realize. Why? Well, shared platforms often mean lower development costs. This may bring the costs of development of Porsche Panamera and Porsche Taycan. At the end of the day, when you go to the dealership to buy a Porsche Panamera or Porsche Taycan, one of those three versions, you will see probably lower costs, or at least the cost may not go up. Lower development costs, faster software improvements, easier parts availability, better long-term reliability. Tesla owners often talk about how software updates arrive simultaneously across the lineup. That's partly because the cars share the same digital architecture. When automakers streamline their platforms, the ownership experience usually improves as well. So this is good for car buyers. The bigger lesson for auto industry, well, what we're seeing here is something fascinating. Why? Tesla didn't build its platform strategy because it said it had more money or more engineers. Tesla did it because it had no choice. And now when other companies realize that they don't have any more choice to continue what they were doing for decades or for a long time, they make changes. So as a startup, Tesla had to be efficient to survive. Legacy car makers like Porsche, BMW, and Mercedes grew up in a different era. One where multiple platforms for similar vehicles were normal, but the electric vehicle transition has changed the economics completely. Battery technology is very expensive these days. Well, earlier we were thinking battery prices will come down when they achieve parity with gas prices. But there is now demand growing. Battery technology is expensive. Software development is expensive. Like I said, running duplicate vehicle programs has become very harder to justify. And now the industry is slowly adopting. This is why Porsche is considering to make this change. And if Porsche ultimately merges the Panamera and Taycan lineups, it will not mean the company is losing its engineering edge. It has nothing to do with that. In fact, it might be the opposite. that Porsche is consolidating these things, and that consolidation could free up resources at Porsche to focus on making a single platform truly exceptional. So what we can expect is that this new platform, combined platform of Panamera and Taycan, should be more exceptional platform than what Porsche has for Panamera and for Taycan. Sometimes the smartest move in business is simply recognizing when someone else figured out something first. And in this case, Tesla may have written the playbook years ago. Now, friends, if this was very interesting for you, I would like to hear your opinion. I'm curious what you think. For example, if Porsche merges the Panamera and Taycan into one unified lineup, would that make the car more appealing to you or less? Like, for example, I think personally I'm looking forward to that. I would like to see what it would be as I just described above. And looking at Tesla's success with the Model 3 and Model Y platform strategy, do you think the legacy car makers are catching up fast enough, or this is something that Porsche should have done years ago? So friends, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you have owned Taycan, Panamera, Model 3 or Model Y, I would love to hear what your experience has been like. This is Armen Harian from TorqueNews.com. I think those real-world ownership stories are often where the most interesting insights come from. God bless you, everyone. Visit us also at TorqueNews.com. And if you found this interesting, give us thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and share in social media. I would be very thankful. See you soon in our next report.